Okay, let's start with the meeting. Thank you everyone for coming this afternoon or this morning, depending on the area where you are. This is the network, the meeting of the network of the Eco Club, and just before starting before the registration started, I have asked a question that was raised by Ludwig Kalthoff, who cannot be present this afternoon. He asked if we can collect the data of the environmental chair of the district to which you belong to. Walid said that, okay, there is no environmental chair in his district. I think that if there is no environmental chair, I think that the district chair in general can be used as a contact person if needed. And eventually, the district chair will appoint someone to answer question about the environment. I am admitting Raju. Okay, this meeting is a little bit institutional, let's call it in this way. We have Yasar, who was, I don't know exactly what is your role right now, but he was a past ESRAG chair, who has a message to show us. Yasar, if you want to start your presentation about the ESRAG initiative, I think that everyone will be extremely interested in understanding what is going on.
Okay, thank you, Luca. We have come to a stage where we are in a position to start a new initiative. However, this all goes back to about 4 years ago, and some of you already know some of the details of these. But for the interest of all, let me start from the back. Back in about 4 years ago, ESRAG board established a climate roadmap working group. The intention was climate change was developing so fast, and unfortunately, Rotary was not taking sufficient care for these new developments, and we thought all those should be brought to the attention of Rotarians. So we established this working group, which will work on a climate roadmap. Over time, we started working. For the next year or so, we worked on what should be the goal of this climate roadmap working group be. So we thought about, various goals, and over time, this has changed. We had 4 goals, then sometime we had 6, we had 5, and eventually we settled on 4 goals. So let me share those goals with you. Okay. So the 4 goals were increasing our impact, by which we had intending to speak to senior Rotary leaders, asking them to take action. So that was number 1. We thought to increase our impact, it is necessary we have to work with the senior Rotary leaders. Second, we should engage with clubs and districts. We should bring the importance of climate change to the attention of all Rotarians, all clubs and districts. And this should be through some campaigns. So we had also had some decisions, thoughts about what those campaigns should be. And eventually, we are at this following point. Our first campaign was Every Club Climate Friendly campaign. Maybe some of you heard about this, and Ludwig Kalthoff led this campaign, and now it is also working with a task force within ESRAG, which is Climate Solutions Task Force, led by Michael Koh. And now it is more concentrating on achieving zero emissions by clubs and districts. A third goal was adapting to the changing world, to changing climate world. And one of the first things we have identified was how Rotary's money is used, whether it is used in a way, in a responsible way, aligning with our values, with the values of Rotary, or not. And as a result of this, we have decided that ESRAG's money in the bank should be shifted to a bank that has that is aligned with our values. So we shifted the money from a big American bank to a small bank which finances only renewable energy projects. So it's called Green Bank. So we shifted about $100,000+ of our money to that bank, and it is still there, and it is also it recently merged with its with its owner, the bigger the bank. So this is something that we want all clubs and Rotary organizations and the Rotary International to do, to shift their money to banks which watch for their investments, whether they are being done in a responsible way or not. And there are lots of banks that align with these around the world. Not everywhere, but there are many in many countries. And another point on this one is what about Rotary International's investments? Rotary Foundation has about $2 billion, right? That's the endowment the foundation has. So where is this investment? So we are connecting with the Rotary Foundation's investment office or manager. We have already contacted with them, and that's something that we want to do. That was the original thinking behind adapting to the changing climate world, but later we think behavior change is also important. So we must maybe change our behavior to adapt to this changing climate world. So this is something that we will be thinking about. And the last one in our goals was expanding our reach. Global agencies, international funders, like, for example, Global Climate Fund or Adaptation Fund, and so on. So we worked on these. These took almost a year of our time. Then we started engaging with some senior leaders. And the first leader we had invited was Tom Gump. So we invited Tom Gump to Climate Roadmap Working Group meeting. Then we invited Barry Resson. Then we had discussions with Ian Risley. Then in the same summer, ESRAG organized a conference where we hosted Stephanie Urchik. And then that continued. We hosted Mark Maloney. We hosted last year Kasten, the vice president from Germany, if you remember him. We hosted Holger Nack, and so on. And then we decided to make a contact with the Rotary president, who at the time was Gordon McAnally. So thinking about how we can promote climate change, we checked with Rotary background, and we saw in 2019, Rotary International introduced DEI to the Rotary world. And we looked and we saw that the way they introduced DEI was, there were two things. One was they recommended, they established a DEI task force that worked as advisor to the Rotary board and watched things around in the Rotary world and reported to the board. So that was one of the things that was used in the introduction of DEI. The second was the board, the Rotary board, approved a policy statement on DEI, what they want, what their goals are, etc. So aligning with those, we developed a similar policy statement for climate change for Rotary, and we also talked about a recommendation for forming a task force. Then we took these to Gordon McAnally, then the president of Rotary International, and he was very fine. He was, acceptable, and he said he will take this to the board, and he believed the board will approve it. And at the time, Pat Meriwether, our guest, was vice president. So we worked quite a bit with Pat Meriwether, who now is a member of ESRAG board. So we worked with them. For example, we had a one-page, longer than one-page policy document. They told us this is too long. Give us something simple. So then we simplified our policy document, and we had two items on the policy. One was Rotary be net zero by 2050. Rotary approves this, and through that, all the districts and clubs work for net zero for 2050, like many countries and like many corporations have promised and they want to do. They are working on those. So that's one. Pat Meriwether soon after came back to us. She said she spoke to a number of directors, Rotary directors, and they said 2050 is too far in the distance. Why don't you move it to 2040? We were more than happy to hear that. The second item on the policy document was, just like when any new officer is appointed in Rotary, is trained, or with the new wording, it's provides learning. Those learnings or those training should include climate change, something on climate change, whether the person is a club president, a district governor, or a director. Not only those, also Rotary staff should be trained on climate change. So we wanted, for example, the International Assembly, when all the governors are trained for the first time in January or the February before they start working, that should include something on climate change. So we provided these to the Rotary president and vice president. Then We met a couple of times with President Gordon, and he assured us that this will happen and this will happen. And finally, last year at the RICON at Singapore, right? Sorry. Where was it? Wasn't it in Singapore?
It was.
Yeah, okay. In Singapore, the executive committee of the Rotary International recommended to the Rotary board and to the board of trustees of the foundation that they establish a climate change task force. That was a recommendation from the executive committee to this joint board. So the joint board then met in October last year, 2024, and they agreed to set up a small working group with 2 trustees and 2 Rotary International directors to work on the feasibility of such a task force, climate change task force for Rotary International. So the team worked on these issues, and as Climate Roadmap Working Group, we were in contact with them. We supplied, several information, respond to their questions, provided details. We had information, for example, on in our website explaining the climate change, etc. We provided these to them, and so on. We worked quite strongly with them, and that continued until last June, and then we learned that our proposal was not accepted. And you can count on the political situation in the United States on this. I mean, they have been very much affected from the political developments within the United States. DEI's name has been changed. They don't, in Rotary, if you go to the My Rotary, you don't see DEI anymore. There's something, a new name for that. So we are, due to these political developments, we think it was not accepted. However, all things showed us that it will be accepted, but in the end, that was the result. So that's what happened this summer. Now we thought about what should we do? What's next? If we are not going to be able to do this with the Rotary International at senior level, what else can we do? So we started thinking about this, and the roadmap group, climate roadmap group, started discussing on this, and we developed some ideas. So before going into the details, here is how we started and how it is being evolved a little bit. So again, we have the same purpose. We want to guide clubs and districts and zones, especially the zones now. Zones is a new word here. And take positive action on the consequences of the climate change. So we thought of having an advisory group with senior Rotarians and also climate experts that will be coming over the coming years. And ESRAG would coordinate all this action around the world at zone level. We are not concentrating on the Rotary International headquarters, on the center, but at the zone level. So this is how we see the situation under the new conditions. Okay, so we talked about our goals under this new situation and aligning them with the strategic priorities of Rotary International. So we want to increase our impact through climate solutions, expand our reach within Rotary and beyond, enhance participation and engagement through climate solutions, and increase our ability to adapt to a changing world. Okay, so these are the Rotary's aligning with Rotary's strategic priorities. Now, what is this ESRAG Climate Solutions program is going to constitute, having in mind? So we will have regional solutions. We will provide consultancy to districts and clubs, especially in their global grant applications. We will provide expertise like cadre in many of the areas of focus. We have resources. We have task forces that are working on various things. We have, videos, seminars, etc. We have training programs, ambassador training, climate ambassador training. We have campaigns like Every Club Climate Friendly. But after the Every Club Climate Friendly, we have another one. You will hear about this after me from Liz. As Renewable Energy Task Force, they developed this campaign, Million Solar Campaign, and we said that's right. That's the other campaign that we should have, and so we are working now together and to grow this campaign on Million Solar Panels. And we will have projects, impactful projects, and we will have partners, not only within Rotary, but also outside of the Rotary. And with UNEP, for example, we already have Rotary as something. But more than that, we will have more engagement with international funding organizations, because I think we will fit very well. They have the money and we are everywhere, so it fits very well with the Rotary. So these are the elements of our program. Now, we thought of working, as I said earlier, we working with the zones. Since we are not able to, take it further at the Rotary international level, we will work it from the zones. And we have already talked about this with John Hugo, for example, one of our members in Climate Roadmap, co-leader Pat Armstrong. Last month at their Zone Institute in Australia, had a meeting, had a talk with John Hugo, and she explained to them, and he was very supportive of this new approach, provided it is led by ESRAG. And we also had a meeting after the declining of our task force establishment. We had a meeting with Stephanie Urchik and Mark Maloney. And after the meeting, our understanding was Stephanie Urchik said, you go ahead. Yes, ESRAG can do it. We won't do it. At Rotary International, we won't do it. But if you want to do it, go ahead. I mean, they were not closing the door for us. So at this time, it seems that two zones, one is the Australia Rotary South Pacific region. They are in a in this transition from being a zone to being a region. There's a lot of interest in that zone, in that region. And also the zone I am in, zone 21, I had a few discussions with our director, and he is also interested in this. So initially, it looks like we will be starting this model in these two zones. But for 2027, why not have other zones? I know there is interest on this from Ludwig in their zone in Germany, and also I hear interest from South Asia, from India. So there may be others. So after this pilot implementation in these two zones, it can go to more zones. So we want, so each zone will have their policy document. They will have a climate solutions task force. Which will develop their long-term and short-term plans and how to grow and develop their projects. So we are working with the zone level officers, and it looks like that in the zones there is an officer. I think it's the officer is called Assistant Rotary International Foundation officer, and there is one public image officer. So these two will be more likely be the people that we are going to be working with. The public image officer is talking for publication, growing this, and the other is on the projects. So this is how things are going to be done, and that's what we are how we are going to develop this climate roadmap map to around the world in this way. So this is what it is, and we will be more than happy to having you in supporting this work. You are welcome to join Climate Roadmap working group and contribute to the achievement of these goals. So if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer your questions. And thank you. And this is my presentation.
Thank you, Yasar. I don't know if Chris, please unmute yourself and.
Good morning. Good morning, Luca. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Great. Good to see you. Thank you, everyone, for attending and everything that you're doing for the environment. That sounds like a great project. I'm sorry that I attended late. Burning the candle at both ends, as they say. But this is a wonderful project. I don't imagine that there's much interest or much response from ESRAG Northeast America or Zone 32. But I am a volunteer, and if there's anything I can do at this corner of the map, I would like to carry the torch here. So I'm going to re-review the part that I missed, and I guess you could share my contact information. If there's anything I can handle on this side of the Atlantic, let me know. I am a new Eco-Rotary Rotaract Club. One of my fellow members was attending, Raju Subramaniam. He's our new treasurer and technical expert. I invited ESRAG to come and speak to my club a couple of times. I wrote them again yesterday, and hope that they'll respond, and hopefully I can engage my members in a serious way to get involved with this on a global perspective, as you guys, as we do. So thank you for the presentation, and I'm at your service if you need me. Carry this.
Christopher, thank you very much for your support. We will definitely contact you. Did you say you are from Zone 32?
I am.
So where is Zone 32?
New York.
New York, okay. So Eastern New York, Eastern US.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're a 6-month-old club and growing gradually. Every meeting I encourage my members to show up, and we will. You'll see us grow. I'm gonna.
Okay.
Luca, how do I replay this part that I missed this morning? There's a recording.
Yeah, it's a recording. Yes. Yeah. And
Okay.
it will be distributed. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
I want to reply directly to you without having Yasar, because it's a message to everyone. I think that we should give Yasar a few months to Pat, if Pat will be the leader, let's say, on the Australian zone pilot, to create a pilot, to start to organizing it, to create a structure. Then when the structure is there, it can be replicated anywhere. But let's do a little bit of trial and error in the beginning before starting with the propagation of the initiative. I don't know what Yashar thinks about.
You're right. I mean, we are trying something new. This has not been tried before, so we are learning, and as we learn, we will transfer our information to you and everybody who wants to join. Yes, you're right.
Hannah?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the presentation. I had a question, how to join, or is it if we have already an ESRAG chairperson, because our past president, Rana, is one. Will she be the one who represents, for example, our club, or in this initiative that you were talking about, or should we how to join, or she would be the one that you will be in contact with?
Okay, this is a working group. I mean, we are people who are working on and developing this. It is not just information, but the people there are expected. We want them their contribution. Wherever they can contribute, we expect their contribution. So, did you say Rana?
Yes.
Rana is welcome if she wants to contribute.
Okay.
She's the ambassador for the climate. She's climate ambassador already.
Okay, fine. She's welcome.
Okay. So how to join the working group? There will be a link, or we reply to?
No, it is not open to everybody. I mean, it is open only to people who are members of ESRAG and who want to contribute. It is not just an information group. It is not just for just interest, but we want them to contribute to the work.
Yes.
She wants, she can write to me, or you can write to me. There is no link. It is not, as I said again, it's not public.
Yes, not open to all. Yeah.
Open to everybody. It's open only to people who will contribute.
Okay, great. Very clear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Yes.
When you say contribute, I interpret that to be in we're doing participating in
Yeah.
the work that needs to be done.
Right. That's what I mean.
I thought so, and I suppose funding is helpful as well. Is there a fund that we're growing in order to support that mission?
Well, we will not need, little funding, not much. I mean, maybe preparing something or so. Other than that, I don't think we need money. We need connections, for example. Connections are important. Contributions are, idea contributions or,
Yeah, right.
development, etc. Those are the things that we are really expecting.
Yes.
Contributions, connections in your zones.
Yeah.
Connecting to your directors or to your trustees or whatever. I mean, that's the kind of contribution that we are expecting, not funding.
I thought so.
Okay.
And can you tell me, are there many, if any, interested members of ESRAG US engaged in this program that I can?
You already see some of them here.
Okay, good.
Lori is interested there.
Great.
Tim is also interested and he's there. And Liz
Good.
also, Elizabeth Henke is also in our group.
Americans.
So those are some of the people.
Great.
I don't think Tim and Lori are from your zone. I know they are not, but maybe Liz maybe.
The reason I ask is perhaps we can begin by collaborating on domestic projects together.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will grow the movement as we attract more members to get involved.
Okay, so sorry, I jump into the conversation because we have another presentation coming in. So please, Walid, ask your question and let's try to speed up a little bit the meeting.
Hello again. Hi, Yasar. It has been a long time speaking to you.
Yeah.
Yasar, you wanted us to convey your messages to our zones. Have you established communication with our district 2452?
No, not
Okay.
yet. We are not there yet.
Not there by
more people.
What do you mean by not there?
I mean, we have not advanced to the stage where we want to continue, where we are ready to contact the zone, the districts, and asking them for specific things. So this will be developed over the time, and you are welcome to support us in connecting with your district and your zone.
Okay, I will have a call conversation between you and I, and
Please.
we'll see how we can proceed forward. Thank you, Yasser.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
Karin, you had your hands raised.
Yeah, I was just typing that in the chat. I just wanted to tell Yasar, I think this is a great way, a great compromise in a sense of being able to get this climate information going, to use the zones, since RI it's tough having the top a little hesitant about stuff, but I think this is a great solution, Yasar, and I'm really excited to see how it goes. Thank you for all you're doing. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, I'm quite happy that Yasar got the support and the reassurance from all of us that he's not alone in his battle. And believe me, he needs support and also a little bit of understanding because, to be honest, he's not really alone, but he's on the first row. So he's the one that is doing the job. He's the one who will do mistake. He needs understanding and he needs support from all of us.
Okay.
If you don't mind, we can move from a little bit of theory to a little bit of practice now. Because in all of these initiatives, there are already things that are working since a while. And Liz Henke, thank you for joining us. Will give us an update on the Million Solar Panel Initiative of ESRAG.
I would love to. Thanks, Luca. Well, Yasha just gave you the 100,000-foot view, and I'm going to talk to you about a very discreet initiative, ESRAG initiative. It's very straightforward. It has a very, very small time commitment for Rotary members, but potentially a huge impact. This is the Million Solar Panel Challenge, and I'm representing the team today. Tim Connors is on the team also. I'm a solar enthusiast. I think that's the only way. I'm not an expert. I'm a retired MD. But I've been putting solar panels on my homes for the last 35 years when it cost $10 a watt to put a solar panel on a roof. And now solar panels, my son just bought solar panels in Utah, 20 cents, US cents a watt. It is amazing, the transformation over the last 35 years. So why am I a solar enthusiast? I joined Rotary in 2020, and the first thing we did was we put solar on Habitat homes. They are low-income homes in the US. And we did that to try and interrupt energy poverty. That was highly successful. But the real reason I think I love solar is that I've got climate angst. You guys may not, but I have it big time. My carbon footprint is way too high. I travel, I've got a home. And every time I look at those solar panels in my garden, my climate angst just drops. Every one of those 400-watt solar panels over its lifetime saves 8 tons of carbon dioxide. It is the biggest thing that I can do to impact climate change. Yes, I walk, yes, I bike, but my solar panels are powerful. So let me share the presentation, and anytime you want me to stop, just yell. So we started the Million Solar Panel Challenge, as ESRAG did, at the end of 2023. And it's very simple. It encourages every Rotary member to facilitate the purchase of solar panels, either for themselves, and I'll explain that later, or for others. And the goal is for Rotarians to deploy 1 million solar panels. Why solar panels? Well, solar panels make electricity in a very clean way. And we know that burning of fossil fuels accounts for nearly 90% of all carbon dioxide emissions. And the solution to that problem, because we all need electricity, is rapid transition to clean, renewable energy. The Million Solar Panel Challenge is modeled on Ian Risley's initiative, where he asked Rotarians to plant trees. And of course, we planted not 1 million trees, but millions and millions and millions of trees. He understood the importance of climate change and taking action to try and mitigate it. But I told you solar is very powerful. So if we all deployed 1 solar panel each, that would be the equivalent, not to planting 10 million trees, but to preserving 10 million mature trees. It has the same impact as 10 million mature trees. It would save billions in electricity costs and stop 8 million tons of carbon being released into the atmosphere. And Ian Risley knows this. This is Ian Risley with Laura Ayer, the co-chair of the Million Solar Panel Challenge, logging his solar panels in Rikon. And Rikon was a lot of fun. We met a lot of people. And I just wanted to introduce you to our mascot. This is Soli, our mascot. He was a big hit in Rikon. That's the one on the right, not the one on the left. I'm sure you all know what solar is, and apologies for the schematic here. I quite like it though. Solar is a very straightforward, very reliable technology. For instance, I've had my solar panels up for the last 10 years. I haven't touched them. They're in my garden. I expect them to still have 80% of their original capacity at year 30. So the sun shines on the solar photovoltaic and seamlessly what you don't use if you're on the grid, the electric grid, it goes back to the grid. And that interchange between the house and the grid and the solar panels is seamless. I have a battery as well in my house. And I don't say that, I say that because I want to tell you how wonderful having a battery is. I live in North Carolina. We have trees, and the trees come down on the overhead cable, and my power is forever going out. And I never lose electricity because of my battery. Because even when the grid goes down, my battery can power my house. So my fridge doesn't turn off, my lights stay on. My neighbors come over to charge their phones and watch the TV. And this is the key to solar. This is the key because you can put solar anywhere in the world and it'll produce electricity. So most people have solar on their roofs. I have them in my garden, don't ask me why. I love these. This is balcony solar. This is plug and play solar. 1 million have been deployed in Germany alone. Why? Because the cost of electricity is high. And this is so easy. You just put them on your balcony, you don't need a permit, and you plug it into an outlet. So easy. If you rent, you just unplug your solar panels and you take them to your next apartment or flat or house. Indeed, my son in Utah is now putting his solar panels on a pergola in his garden. And I have 2 young friends in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, which is where I am right now. One of whom is putting his solar panels on his fence. And the other one, and I don't have pictures yet because he hasn't done it yet, and I'm so excited about this, he's putting his solar panels on the side of his house. So you can literally put solar panels anywhere. You can put them in the field and have the sheep grazing around them. Worldwide, though, we have a problem. And the worldwide problem is world electrification, because there are 700 million people worldwide who have no access to electricity. They're mainly in sub-Saharan Africa. And what do they have in sub-Saharan Africa? Sunshine. There are 1 billion people worldwide who have unreliable electricity, and people cannot lift themselves, communities cannot lift themselves out of poverty unless they have electricity. It's just not possible. So the solution is solar. Indeed, one of the most exciting projects that I'm working on right now, and Tim and I are working on this, we're working with other Rotarians to design a microgrid in Uganda as a model microgrid for Rotary and for Uganda. And we are hoping to get electricity to between 20 and 50 homes and businesses, and eventually expand from there. So why is solar the answer to world electrification? It's now the cheapest way you can produce electricity. Why would you buy gas and diesel if you've got free sunshine? As I mentioned, it accelerates electrification. It's very easy to deploy anywhere in the world. It's very quick. From a physician's standpoint, I love it because it reduces pollution, because there are 6 million deaths a year worldwide from indoor and outdoor air pollution. And I've also already addressed the other reasons. But electricity, and solar in particular, is important in each of Rotary's areas of focus. Let's just take, for instance, education and literacy. If you don't have electricity, children can't study. They can't power computers. Believe me, as a physician, you cannot run any sort of safe hospital or clinic unless you've got electricity. If you add solar to pump water to a well, you can reach clean water for the whole community. And in fact, Rotarians know this. We've deployed solar all over the world in our projects. Laura has put together about 200 to 300 Rotary solar projects around the world. And I'm just going to show you 3. This was a massive one in India, where the Rotary Club of Moinabad partnered with a solar installer to bring solar to the community. This one in Nepal, where they replaced a diesel generator, saving the hospital about $11,000 a year that they could redirect to patient care. And probably one of my favorites, this one in Nepal, where they did have a water source. It was at the bottom of a mountain, and women spent many hours every day taking that water uphill. They put a solar and solar-driven electric pump. They pumped the water up the hill into, this is not their tank, but into a tank. And from that tank, which essentially was acting then like a battery, they put pipes, and they were able to distribute that clean water for sanitation and health to the whole community. But you can add solar to pretty much anything. We recently added, we have been volunteering with a nonprofit locally that feeds children, and we've been packing food. They wanted to give their children fresh fruits and local vegetables, and they needed a refrigerator. So we bought solar panels for that nonprofit so that they can give the children, so that you can power the refrigerator and give the children fresh fruits and vegetables. So how can you participate in the Million Solar Panel Challenge? Because we want everybody to participate. I did put a link in the chat to how you could log your solar panels, because we have to document the million. We can't just say we've done it. We have to actually document it. So you can install solar on your own home or business, install solar for others in a Rotary project, or donate them, or donate money to nonprofits that deploy solar for the underserved. But we want those solar panels logged. So I said, yes, we want you to log solar panels that you maybe have installed on your own home. Why do we want to do that? That is not the Rotary way. We are a service organization. We do things for others. We want you to log your own solar panels because having solar is leading by example. It's a very in-your-face, argumentative way of showing how important renewable energy is. I put solar, as I mentioned, 10 years ago in my garden. Since then, 2 of my neighbors have solar. 1 of my partners had solar. And my best friends, who are highly conservative, got solar. My highly conservative best friends are still bragging about how much money they're saving from their solar installation. Leading by example, it's a very important way of educating people. And of course, if we want you to participate in this initiative, even if you can't afford solar, by promoting the transition to renewable energy. So since we started this nearly 2 years ago now, we've had, this is a little bit out of date, we've had over 120,000 solar panels logged from 65 countries. The majority of districts worldwide have somebody participating in the Million Solar Panel Challenge. To date, India is the country that, at least South Asia is the country that, area that is logging the most solar panels. But as far as individual Rotarians who's logging the solar panels, then they're mainly in the US. And so we have a lot of education to do when we have 2 countries dominating these pie charts. The leading district to log solar panels right now is Coronado in the US. I think they have 70 of their members that have logged their solar panels. And they're gung-ho to do solar projects around the world. I love this one from Brazil. This is the Rotary Club of Santos. They decided to honor our legendary Rotary International President, Paulo Costa. And they had their members log their solar panels, all 597 of them, and they gave out pins. So how many people on this call have solar panels? Please take a picture of this and log your solar panels. It's a very easy step to log your solar panels. I'll bring that back up later. I've nearly finished. But some people in my club found it a little difficult to log the solar panels. It's very short form. It's very easy. But many of my co-members of my club are quite elderly, and it was easier for them to just fill out a form. So I gave them a form, and they just wrote their name. I think there's only 5 things you actually need: the number of solar panels, where they're located, because we don't want them duplicated, your district and your name and your email. And so we're looking for champions all around the world who are willing to encourage the Rotary Club and district members to log their panels. If this form is used, then all you need to do is send it to Laura or myself, and we'll do the logging for you. So if you or anyone know of somebody, a Rotarian, who would be willing to champion this, it's a fairly small time commitment. It would just involve making an announcement about the Million Solar Panel Challenge in the club, ask for members who've installed solar. They can't install solar for a living, obviously. Use the sign-up sheet to collect the names and then just send it to Laura or myself. When we get the solar panels logged, then we send either the club, if it's a club project, or the individual, a certificate of appreciation. And this is the last thing I want to say. This last year, ESRAG allowed us to give 7 $1,000 prizes to the best solar projects in Rotary that applied for this prize. And I'm pleased to say the final $1,000 for this year went out this week. Thank you, Yasar, for facilitating that. We do have more money for next year. So if any of you know of any clubs doing solar projects, please ask them to apply. And you can use this barcode here. Thanks very much. Can I answer some questions?
Yes, before Walid start the questions, because we are already 10 minutes late, so I want to close the meeting in 5 minutes maximum. I want to highlight something. Liz knows exactly how many solar panels have been recorded in this initiative. So she's collecting data. And this is something that Rotary is not good at all. I am challenging each one of you to know how many members do you have in your club. You don't know it. Liz knows how many solar panels have been installed. This is something that needs to change, because if we want to have a collective impact as Rotary, as ESRAG, as an organization, we need to demonstrate our impact. And this can only be done with numbers. So we need to start recording our project, collecting our data, and we will try to facilitate this new approach. Close the patronizing session. Apologize for that. Walid, quickly, please.
Thank you. Hello, Elizabeth. How are you?
Hi, Walid.
Your presentation was great.
Thank you.
I have an issue regarding the solar. Previously, we had to make few global grants, and they were rejected because solar was part of it. Myself had a conflict with Keith Maiden, who was the environment chair for foundation. And after 6 months of negotiation, we had changed his mind, since he thought solar energy is luxury, not something necessary for human being or climate change. The problem is we are trying to do global grants regarding solar. However, we are facing problems getting acceptance from the foundation. They request too many things to be adapted on the application, learning, introducing different equipments. These things will minimize the expenditure of us doing projects in our regions, in our zones, and in everywhere. Is there a possibility of doing a kind of communication with the Rotary International regarding this issue to mitigate the process of acceptance on global grants for solar energy. This is one.
Yes. So
The second is that solar energy by itself is not sufficient, Elizabeth. We have times of year that solar system is not available. So we should add to it something other than solar. In our area, we are trying to introduce wind with the solar, but also it is expensive, and Rotary Foundation is not accepting.
yeah.
I have a challenge. I believe we should focus not on personal solar system creation. We need to do big projects like with municipalities to provide electricity for uh, a town, not homes. And this will be affecting directly the environment, the climate change issue. If we can do some kind of communication with Rotary International to make solar energy acceptable for mass production, it will be great. I
Well,
don't know. Would you
I
like?
totally agree with you. So yes, join us as we look at this microgrid system in Uganda. I think in Uganda it is so important because these people have zero electricity. And it is something that you can get electricity to a whole community for a relative cheap amount of money, and that can then be reproduced in other areas of the world. So would love you to join us to do that and to use it maybe as an example for Rotary of how this can be done so it can be expanded. I totally agree with you about Rotary International and their attitude towards solar. It harkens back to the 1970s, 1980s. Yes, I agree. Keith Madden came a long way to change his mind. Unfortunately, Keith Madden's no longer there. Nikki Clayton is there right now. We've had many conversations with Nikki. And as Yasar alluded to, the political situation in the US is not helping this, I suspect. My recommendation is to funnel all solar grants through community and economic development whenever possible, because we are continuing to talk, continuing to educate, but if I'm realistic, I don't see anything really dramatically changing, at least for the next 3 years. But you can get solar grants approved, and we would love to partner with you to, if you like, help you shepherd those solar global grants through the system. We want examples of when and why they're reaching sticking points, and we can help take those grants to Nikki Clayton and say, Nikki, we need you to review this directly. But community and economic development historically has been much more responsive to renewable energy in their grants. Tim?
Yeah, I just want to stress that I think we need visibility in Renewable Energy Task Force to any grant that's having problems, because we are a vehicle, hopefully, to lobby for change. And then I would reinforce one of the options that exists is to put it through community economic development But I guess I would ask, don't start there. Let us see if we can break it loose in Renewable Energy Task Force, and the backup strategy is community economic development. And then I was kind of excited to hear about wind. You know, global grants are grants that could support wind costs. So I'm not aware of anywhere where we've done a wind project, but we do have expertise in the Renewable Energy Task Force to support a wind project. We just haven't had any come across the transom, so to speak. So I'd love to work on one of those. And then I'd leave you with the idea that there is, I think, change going on. It's not very visible. But in addition to Nikki, there's other people at Rotary International that are helping us lobby for change as it relates to solar. And it's important for us to keep that conversation going in order for that change to move ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Tim. And
Can I speak one more thing, Luca?
Walid, we are already 18 minutes late, and I need,
Kindly, I need your contact details, Elizabeth.
I put it in the chat, Walid. Please contact me. I'd love to chat further.
Exactly. I think that you have a lot to talk. Please take it offline and give us feedback if there are some positive news in the next meeting. I will also save the chat so that, Maria is your, no, okay. Thank you all. I think that we can close the meeting. Needless to say that it was quite well participated, and I think that Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We have a lot of things coming on 2026, so stay tuned and enjoy your time with your family. Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yeah,
Yasar,
thanks. Thanks very much, everyone.
Stay for a minute.
Going. Excellent.
Don't be afraid. Go ahead, Walid. Please. You